Good morning, folks. Welcome to Brawijaya News, your most trusted sources of in-depth reporting of Indonesia's most heated issues. I'm your host, Bima, and today we're going to delve into a topic that has sparked a heated debate across the nations: capital punishment as an efficient solution to combat corruption in Indonesia. Corruption has long plagued our country, from small bribes to big scandals. It erodes in the governance, steals development, and deepens inequality. But just how severe is the problem? And is our government doing enough to address it? To find out, we sent our reporter, Ivan, hit the streets to hear directly from the people. Over to you, Ivan.
Now I am here in the heart of the city, speaking with people from all walks of life to understand how corruption in Indonesia has affected them and whether a harsher punishment, such as capital punishment, could be the answer. So, Sarah Azza, what do you think about the corruption issue in Indonesia and how it has affected your life?
Well, corruption is everywhere, as you can see. There are actually funds meant for us, the poor people, but it never reaches us. And to be honest, my family was struggling because those in power keeps taking what's not them.
So, are you satisfied with how the government handled these cases?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. The government keeps making promises, but nothing can change. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the end, the corrupt always walk free and we suffer.
Do you believe that capital punishment could be the answer to this issue?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You know, I think it's time to make them afraid, and maybe after that they will think twice before they decide to taking from the people.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Azza. Now we're heading back to the studio.
Thank you, Ivan, for the reporting. And as you can see, folks, corruption has affected everybody, especially poor people, like Mr. Oris over here. But is there anyone who fights for this? There's actually activists who fight for their rights. To hear about their opinions, let's get back to the interview. Over to you again, Ivan.
Dear viewers, right now I'm with Miss Galuh Ramadhani, who is an activist of Brawijaya. And now I'm going to ask her some questions. Miss Galuh Ramadhani, what are your thoughts of corruption issue in Indonesia?
Corruption is disease of our nation. It's not about the stolen money. It's about the stolen opportunities and futures. Because of that, infrastructure are crumbles and schools are not funding. It's heartbreaking to see how much potential it has are wasted by the greed of the government.
Are you satisfied with government's efforts so far?
Not at all. It feels like the corrupt has been untouched and hiding behind their powerful and behind their privilege. It feels like justice are made for the powerful, not for the weak.
So, do you think that capital punishment could be the answer or the solution?
It's a drastic measure, but what else we can do? We've tried so many punishments like fines, imprisonment, but none of them all work. And if we want to send a real message to the corruption that corruption is a crime against the people, against the humanity, maybe the capital punishment is the one of the wake-up call we need. It's not just about the vengeance, it's about the saving our country from falling apart.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Galuh, for the willingness to answer. And now we're heading back to the studio.
Now that we hear the opinion of the activists, how about we hear the opinion of public officials, especially those who are alleged by corruption cases? What do they think about these issues? Let's get back to the interview real quick. Over to you, Ivan.
First, right now I'm with Mr. Jofan as a public official, and I'm going to ask him a few questions. So, Mr. Jofan, as someone accused of corruption, what's your perspective about this issue itself in Indonesia?
Accused? Let me make something clear. I'm not the problem here. This is nothing but a smear campaign. Corruption is something that happens everywhere, not just to people like me. You're blaming individuals, but you're not looking at the system itself. The problem lies within the entire government, the entire structure, not just one person. This is ridiculous.
So, are you satisfied with how governments handle the corruption issue itself in so far?
Satisfied? Of course I am. I'm not criminal on the run. The government is doing what it should. You people make it sound like corruption is this monstrous thing only few people are responsible for. Well, the truth is, corruption is part of the game in any country. So, stop pointing fingers at individuals when you should be looking at the bigger picture.
Do you believe that capital punishment could be the solution for this issue?
Capital punishment? Are you kidding me? That's absurd. This is not medieval era. You want to kill people over allegation of corruption? What kind of barbaric mindset is that? This isn't about justice. It is about control. You want to strip people of their rights because you think it fixes of country? Well, let me tell you it won't. This is just desperate a thing to act tough and it won't solve anything. You can't fix broken system by resorting to murder.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jofan, for the willingness to answer. Now we're heading back to the studio.
Thank you, Ivan, for the interview. Now, as you can see, corruption continues to deeply affect the lives of many ordinary Indonesians. The dissatisfaction with the government is clear, and many believe that harsh punishment, such as capital punishment, could deter future offenders. Now, before we dive deep to evaluate how capital punishment could be used as an effective tool to combat corruption problem in Indonesia, take a look at this graph. This graph shows that Indonesia's Transparency International 2022 Corruption Protection Index, or CPI, scored 34 out of 100. And for 10 years, there is no significant improvement. Among that, Indonesia's Anti-Corruption Behavior Index scored 3.85 for 2024. It is lower than 2023 score, which is 3.92. I want you to examine this in the brackets for BPS. This shows that with the current law, Indonesia is still unable to overcome the problem of corruption. Now, there are many reasons on why the government is unable to solve this issue and just how the capital punishment could be the answer. Folks, there is actually a law in Indonesia that punishes corruptors with capital punishment. It is in Article 2, Paragraph 2 of Law No. 31 of 1999, as amended by Law No. 20 of 2001. And there are reasons why most Indonesians don't know about this law. It is because, despite the law, no corruptor has been sentenced to death in Indonesia. This is due to a number of factors, including the complex legal aspects involving corruption cases, the need for evidence, which is often circumstantial, the state not being requirements, and lastly, the most important, political power. It is obviously affecting the outcome. So, what is the problem, and how do we fix this? What kind of capital punishment could solve this? To find out, let's take a look on our neighboring country, China. China is known for its strict legal system regarding the application of the death penalty or capital punishment. The country utilized capital punishment as a primary tool to combat various crimes, including corruption. This data indicates that China has a significantly higher execution rate compared to Indonesia, with numerous corruption offenders that have been sentenced to death as part of the government's anti-corruption campaign. The death penalty of corrupt officials in China is considered more effective in reducing corruption compared to Indonesia due to the following key factors. First, consistent law enforcement, political system and social support, efficiency of legal processes, and severe penalties and publicity. And in closing, while the death penalty presents itself as a bold deterrent to corruption in Indonesia, its success hinges on more than just its implementation. Drawing lessons from China, where strict enforcement, public accountability, and societal condemnation have proven effective, Indonesia has the opportunity to strengthen its anti-corruption framework. Reforms in the legal system, increased transparency, and a cultural shift towards zero tolerance for corruption are essential steps. By combining decisive action with systemic improvement and respect for democratic values, Indonesia can take meaningful strides towards combating corruption, restoring public trust, and building a more just society. The fight against corruption requires more than just a harsh punishment such as capital punishment, but also a united effort to uphold integrity at any level. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next episode.